By FanDuel. What are you laughing at, Pete?
Don't worry about it.
No, he's evil over here. Being really evil.
That's Pete Frisco. That's Kyle Long, Amanda Guerra. I'm Chris Hassel. And Pete had a big change at the top. You had the Lions up there.
Is it a big change?
Big tumble.
Huge.
I mean, the Lions
it's a big
from 1 to 4.
The Chiefs going up from wherever they were 2 to 1.
He didn't think they tumbled far enough.
It was as big a fall as Mufasa off the cliff. It was just falling off.
Watch out, you're gonna go off.
Are you going to take your kids to see that movie?
It's a sad movie. I don't think they understand the sad parts yet. You know?
Really?
Yeah, they just like the animals.
Okay. Well, I guess it was a sad day for the Lions. Chiefs, as Chris mentioned, back on top after the Lions lost to the Bills. Pete, now concerned about Detroit's defense, dropped them from 1 to 4. But Pete, his biggest focus this week, the Bucs up 2 spots to number 12, saying their come from behind victory with the Chargers. Now he's even more impressed, and this is the team that nobody wants to play in the postseason. However, we are going to start with the Chiefs here beating the Browns. Biggest thing, however, to come out of this game is Patrick Mahomes. He is now officially, according to the team, dealing with a mild high ankle sprain. Final games, Texans, Steelers, Broncos, last 2 on the road. How concerned are you right now for the Chiefs? Maybe just for the top seed, if you will.
For the top seed, no, because here's what I would do. I would sit them this week. You can win that game at home against the Texans without them. And then if you need to play them one of the last 2, you play them. If not, then you don't. Everything they do, everything, and that's why everybody talks about their close games, is about the postseason. It was the same last year. They weren't very good last year. They went into the playoffs, and they went through and won as a wild card team, or as a team on the road, and they got to the Super Bowl and won it. I'm not concerned about them at all. As long as he's on the field in the postseason, healthy, the
but
Chiefs.
Don't those things linger?
Let me tell you what, dude. This guy hasn't been healthy for any postseason, and he's been there and done that a number of times. Patrick Mahomes is one of the toughest competitors you'll ever be around. They've got one of the best athletic training staffs. Rick Burkholder, the head trainer there, and all of his staff do an incredible job. Patrick Mahomes has never been healthy in the playoffs, but he just finds a way to win. That's why I'm not concerned about this Patrick Mahomes.
You know what I don't like is when a guy gets hurt like that, and we have all these people out there calling him the drama king and all this stuff.
I saw things saying, oh, Patrick Mahomes' ankle injury right on time.
Look, the guy toughs through so, like you said. Remember when he played against Jacksonville in the playoffs? That thing was nearly dangling, and he went in and played. Give me a break. He's a tough guy. He'll play when he needs to play.
If you don't think he wants to play against the Texans, you're wrong. They're going to have to, put him in the kennel like my dog that wants to go run around and play all day. I'm like, you got to take a break. Your legs are tired, man. Okay, Patrick, we got to get you right. But I can also see them going with Wentz, coming with Patrick at the end if they need it. Can you imagine the roar that would happen?
The closer?
If Patrick comes in like Mariano Rivera in the 4th quarter?
I don't think you, and we'll pick the games a bit, but I don't think you'll need him. By the way, your dog, you keep him in a kennel?
Well, he's a German Shepherd. He has hip issues at times, and he likes to play. You got to help him out sometimes.
Okay.
Take a nap,
keep
bud.
His cats in a kennel.
Hell no.
A cat guy, huh?
Pete's cats run free. All over him, all over his camera.
I could claw you.
By the way, the Chiefs, all they need to do, win 2 of the last 3, they're guaranteed the #1 spot in the AFC. They would have to lose multiple games for somebody else like the Bills to have a chance to claim that spot. Let's jump down in the AFC playoff race to the last 2 teams that are in it right now, but in a really good spot, and they play each other this week. Pete, it's the Broncos and the Chargers, 6 and 7 in the AFC. You have the Broncos 9 in your power rankings, the Chargers at 13.
Yeah, and again, the last couple of weeks, the Chargers have concerned me a little bit. I didn't see that one coming. Their defense was terrible the other day against the Bucs, and Justin Herbert didn't play well. So there's concern, but I flip it over. If Jonathan Taylor doesn't drop the ball, scoring a touchdown, they go up 20-7, and I don't think the Broncos win that game either. So there are concerns with both these teams. This one is one of those games where it will decide. Obviously, if the Chargers lose this game, they're in trouble. They have trouble. Somebody can maybe come get them.
The Broncos can clinch if they do win.
Yeah, and look, Sean Payton's done an amazing job with this team.
Sean Payton's done a really good job. Bo Nix has been really good all year, but we saw it this past week.
Last couple weeks.
He's a rookie still.
Yeah.
He's a rookie still. So in this matchup, obviously, there's a lot to look at in the quarterback department.
Pete, you started off your entire article. Look, you always have to start with something, though, right? Like, you got to write something.
Got to write something.
And you went with the Bucs, though, because they were very impressive this past weekend. And you said after this past weekend, I actually have more faith in them than I did a little while ago. The good thing for them, they are now on top of that division. They are now ahead of the Falcons because the Falcons had the tiebreaker. When you look at the last couple games, Falcons have Giants, Commanders, Panthers, Bucs, Cowboys, Panthers, Saints. How all in are you right now on this Bucs team for the rest of the season and heading into the postseason?
All in, and they might make a run in the postseason to get to the championship game and maybe even beyond. I love this team.
And they're healthy.
And that's they're getting healthier.
You think they can make the Super Bowl?
I absolutely think they can. I think that, look, you know who beat the Lions early in the year? The Bucs did when they were healthy. You know who beat the Eagles? The Bucs did.
Talk about it.
Yeah, and they are finally getting guys back. You know, once they get Winfield and Whitehead back on the back end, that solidifies the secondary. They haven't had the secondary together all year, and that group is good when they're together. But the biggest change for that defense is getting Kalijah Kancey going. Up front, he missed the early part of the season. He's back. Now you have he can push the pocket. Vita Vea can push the pocket. Yaya Diaby can get off the edge. They can attack the quarterback. They have a veteran in Levante David. I love the defense. And offensively, they can run it. And you know Baker can throw it. And he has that chip on his shoulder. I love the makeup of this team. It's a great mix of young and old.
And you know what? When you talk about this Bucs team, their ability to score, Liam Cohen's ability to draw up some of the most creative stuff I've seen all season, and the health of that defense, particularly on the back end, allows a guy like Todd Bowles to add some of that pressure with faith in the back end. You can get extra guys in on the rush, and when you're playing against the Bucs, you're probably going to be playing a really tight game or from behind, so you're going to be throwing the football. This plays well into what the Bucs are looking to do.
Pete, I'm curious. We were at the Super Bowl in Vegas last year, and Baker Mayfield was on our set. You pulled him aside. You talked to him for a little bit. I think he was going into contract stuff at that time, but what was your Baker Mayfield pep talk when you talked to him in February?
Don't take the hometown discount. Get as much as you possibly can, and he did. He got a good contract from the Bucs. And look, we didn't even mention Mike Evans. I mean, I'm going to do this for Jack. Mike Evans is on his way to the Hall of Fame. See, Jack, I can say it. He's going to be our producer, Jack. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. And he's playing at such a high level right now. And they got Jalen McMillan going. This team, you agreed with me today. You think they can make a run in the postseason as well.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at their path to get this thing done in the NFC, they're going to have to, potentially go to Philadelphia to play the Eagles.
Yeah, they beat them
already. Been there, done that, not worried about it. Baker Mayfield, he can handle any moment. There's no moment too big for him.
Jack also wants Levante David in the Hall of Fame as well. He's not satisfied with just Mike Evans.
I love Levante David. He was by the way, he's the patron saint of the Better Than team. He was the first captain of the Better Than team back in the day.
Hey, you've been all over the Bucs going back all the way to the summer when you guys went to camp and said that this is the team to beat in that division. Let's go to the NFC West. The Seahawks had a lead there, but not anymore. Geno Smith injured, and you've dropped them 5 spots. Your biggest faller down to 15.
And they're in jeopardy of not making the postseason. You look at their schedule, coupled with the fact that Geno Smith is hurt, and their offensive line got whipped the other day. I mean, they physically mauled both sides of the ball by a Packers team that doesn't usually have that reputation. That concerns me. And you look at their schedule. Minnesota at Chicago. It's Thursday night game, tough turnaround. And then you got the Rams on the road final week of the season.
And the Rams are hot right
If
now.
Geno doesn't play this week, they have big problems against the Vikings. I don't think this team is going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think unfortunately that injury to Geno Smith is what's going to be the bow on the box there for the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, I just don't see it happening. We were looking forward to this final week of the regular season matchup with the Rams and the Seahawks, which would have been a de facto NFC championship. Right now, it looks like just a consolation game at this point.
The Rams started 1-4, had to climb out of a hole. They have now won 7 of their last 9. We got to talk about the Cowboys. As you guys know, I went to the Eagles.
Why do we have to talk about the Cowboys?
Because that's what Jack said.
Okay.
And apparently Cowboys fans want this because you still have a chance, less than 1%. They beat up on the Panthers, which I guess is saying something.
Well, they were dogs in this game.
That's true.
Whatever, man.
They were the first time Panthers were dogs or favorites in 2 years.
They were your biggest riser. They're now up to number 22.
And think about how they lost that Bengals game. I mean, the botched, block, punt, touch it, let him recover it.
You won't let that go because you picked the Cowboys in that game. It's
such a mental mistake, and it should never have been. It should never have happened. If they win that game, Then they're 7-7, smack dab in the middle of the thing.
But they didn't.
And they didn't, but they're playing better football. And the quarterback was better last week. They got some health back on the defensive side. Parsons played well the other day. Look, are they a good team? No, but they're better than what they've been.
Oh, a little constellation prize.
Cooper Rush has played, he's done a good job in the stead of Dak Prescott. When you think about the Dallas Cowboys and what they have to offer, particularly with this roster, it's been Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb. But Cooper Rush has done just enough to keep them competitive in ball games. And to your point, when you're in a situation like that, you cannot afford to have those gaffes, especially with the season on the line.
They're 3 games back with 3 to play.
Yeah, they're not going to make the postseason. But it's interesting that they might be saving Mike McCarthy's job, is what they might be saving. I do. I think
going to run it back next year?
I think he's coming back.
Same old, same old.
Same old.
Nothing's.
That's the problem.
Not that it's Mike McCarthy's fault, but
no,
nothing's going to change.
General manager is the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the problem. The roster isn't.
Can you make a change there?
But you know what? When you look at it on the surface going into next year, 2 rookie starting offensive linemen, they'll be a year better. This team has the chance next year to be a much better and a playoff team.
You said that last year.
Yeah, but they
you
had
said
so many injuries. They lost their
Cowboys going to the Super Bowl?
Cowboys fans say that every year.
That was
Danny Cannell did.
No, that wasn't me. Don't ever put anything Danny says on
It was
me.
Packers in that instance.
Full power.
Eagles Nest News, the path to the Super Bowl for the Eagles. Hello, Eagles fans. Welcome to another exciting episode of Eagles Nest News. Today, we're diving into why the Philadelphia Eagles are looking stronger than ever as we head into the postseason. With key players returning and the team staying healthy, the Eagles are poised to make a serious run for the championship this year. Let's break it down. The Eagles' strong position. The Philadelphia Eagles have been a dominant force in the NFL this season, and their recent performances have only solidified their position as one of the top contenders. With a team that's healthy and getting even healthier, the possibilities are endless. They have a mix of experienced veterans and talented young players, making them a well-rounded and adaptable squad. From their powerful offense to their aggressive defense, everything is clicking for the Eagles right now. On offense, the Eagles are more than capable of running the ball effectively, controlling the clock and creating big plays. Quarterback Jalen Hurts has shown maturity and leadership in every game, and with the weapons around him, including A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, they can strike from anywhere on the field. Defensively, the Eagles have been impressive, especially with the return of some key players. With a solid front seven and a secondary that is finally healthy, the Eagles' defense is a force to be reckoned with. They can put pressure on the quarterback and lock down receivers, which will be crucial in the postseason. The Eagles' path to the championship. As we look ahead to the playoffs, the Eagles' path to the Super Bowl looks very promising. Their ability to perform in high-pressure situations, along with their depth and overall team chemistry, makes them a tough team to beat. They've shown that they can compete with the best in the league, and if they stay healthy, they have the potential to go all the way. When you consider the strength of their offense and defense combined with the leadership of coach Nick Sirianni, it's clear the Eagles are ready for any challenge that comes their way in the postseason. The road to the championship may not be easy, but with the momentum they've built, the Eagles are in a fantastic position to make a deep playoff run. All in for the championship. As we move closer to the postseason, one thing is clear. The Philadelphia Eagles are all in. With a healthy roster and a complete team effort, they have what it takes to make it to the Super Bowl and possibly beyond. Whether it's their explosive offense or their stingy defense, the Eagles are ready to show the league what they're made of. It's time for the Eagles to soar high and take that next step toward bringing home another championship. Now, we want to hear from you. Do you think the Eagles have what it takes to make it to the Super Bowl and win? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of the latest news on your Philadelphia Eagles. All in, Eagles fans. Let's go.